Hi, today we're going to talk about some curious facts about France and possible things that you didn't know about the French history, especially about the age of enlightenment or illustration. Let's start with it.
I know that every one of us know different things about French, like the capital, the typical food, the population, and many other things about their culture and their traditions. But do you know that in French it's allowed to marry with a dead person? This is a little bit strange, but to do this you must send a request to the president. Or that during the Second World War, when Hitler visited Paris, French citizens could the cable of the elevator of the Eiffel Tower so that if Hitler wanted to visit the top, he would have to climb on the foot. One other that there are more people who speak French in Africa than in French, Belgium, Luxembourg, Switzerland combined. These are many interesting things about French that make it a very interesting nation to follow.
Maybe you're wondering why we choose France, and the reason is the following. France is one of the most cultural countries in the world, which highlight for its artistic, literary, and political contributions. France has a relevant history that is more recent than other countries like Greece or Rome. Moreover, the contributions that it has made to the world are still valid today. Literally, its legacy lies in some parts of our life.
Okay. But let's start with the main thing, the illustration, or more commonly named the age of the Enlightenment. Let's start.
Yeah, the first thing that we have to know is that it developed in Europe in the 18th century. Now, the most common definition of the illustration is that it was a literally political, scientific, and philosophical movement. This movement implies an ideological and custom change in the population. They took the Renaissance spirit. An example of it could be that they put the human being at the center of the life. It serves like an inspiration for important events like the French Revolution and the Industrial Revolution. And some characteristics to highlight are the rationalism, the search of the happiness, belief in the natural goodness of man, the optimism, and the secularism.
Just the illustration. But what are the main contributions that it makes of our society? So let's ask to Charles Louis II that, or more commonly, Sir of Brade, or Baron Montesquieu, that he said in one of his books, The Spirit of the Laws, the theory of the division of the power. At the same time, he is the precursor of the liberalism and the rule of law. And in one of his books, he said that there must be a perfect harmony between the three states of power, so there are not excess.
Now we are going to talk about René Descartes. He was the father of the analytical geometry, the creator of the scientific method, the Cartesian plane, the Cartesian law. Um, he also developed the natural philosophy, the innate ideas and doubts. We have to recognize that he was a so important and overall intelligent person because he made many contributions in several areas. Who hasn't heard his famous phrase, cogito ergo sum, or in English, I think and therefore I am. With this phrase, he affirms that the only way to find the truth is through the reason. Clearly, there are more relevant people in this period of time, like Francis Bacon, Immanuel Kant, John Locke, Voltaire, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and David Hume.
What makes it different from us? So, for answering this question, we have to let's put in context of the situation that live Colombian and French people during the 20th century. So, Colombia was Spanish colony, where this native had no opinion in the society, and the majority of the population were slaves and they didn't know how to write and speak. While French people they did. So that makes that the French people made illustration and all these ideas, books, and knowledge come here to Colombia, and with the time, while France developed a revolution of hate against the absolute colony of the time, here in America the colonies claimed their independence against the Spanish crown.
Now, knowing a little more about the Age of Enlightenment, its context, and some of the contribution of the most relevant people of the time, we can reach some conclusions that are the following.
So Colombia can learn from it many different post aspects. Among us that we can follow the confidence in the human capacity that make the enlightenment people optimistic, that they believe that there were no limits to the progress, that we could achieve in books, ideals, and many other different knowledge tools. That was the basic ideas of the revolution. In order to seek a better life size, and also thus enlightenment people were several characteristics that we can highlight, among which we can select the importance of the nature, the reasons, the quality, the freedoms, the defense of the natural religion, and why not, the secular morality.
As we know, we keep and adapt many things from countries more developed than us. Because, as we know, since we were colonized by the Europeans, we have been more backward than them. And in many occasions, we have adapted some things from them to put it in practice in our countries. An example of this are the rights upheld by Antonio Nariño based on those that were promulgated during the French Revolution in 1789. And yes, we have to recognize that it was so useful for us, for our independence. But not only that, also our constitution is strongly influenced by European texts. For example, the concept of the social state that was born in Germany with the Weimar Republic. It isn't bad because sometimes this can be so useful, like in our constitution or in our independence. But sometimes it seems that intellectually we have copied almost everything from Europe. In Latin America, we are very rich in culture, and the invitation isn't to be so impressed by what is in other countries. Obviously, we can learn a lot of from developed countries like US or Europe, the countries from Europe. But we also have to learn how to appreciate our own things. We also have great ideas. Although some things it doesn't seem so, but we have to learn how to appreciate our things that make us different. Yeah, I think that it is all. Thanks for your attention.